Hello everybody and welcome to Kerbal Space Program Hard Mode. This is episode 8, calling it Minmus. It's not pudding. This is our first attempt to go to Minmus. We've been to the moon, well, actually not on the moon, but we've been in flybys of the moon, so naturally it's a flyby of Minmus this time. So I've already done the launch and spared you the details here, but I'm just setting up my transfer to Minmus, and I just go through a couple things and try to make it perfect, and I can never get them perfect, but I try. So just me now moving the maneuver nodes around, trying to find something close. And after messing around with it for a little bit, I get a close or what I want to use, and then I just fine tune it a little bit, and you can see me doing that now. My want my apoapsis, or periapsis I should say, to be as close as possible, but with Minmus and the fact that it's in a different plane than my orbit and around Kerbin, you have to do a little bit of adjustment, and I ended up making an adjustment at the ascending node. And I got pretty close. I was happy with the encounter. I did have to do some fine-tuning. I was kind of farther away than I wanted to be. But it really didn't matter. I had plenty of fuel, and it wasn't a big deal. I knew I was just going to be doing a flyby and then setting up a return trajectory after the flyby. And like I said, I had plenty of fuel to do it. I wasn't concerned with that. So I will start my burn shortly. Once I'll set it up on my maneuver node, then hit the Kerbal alarm clock. Just want to get it set up prior to that. This ship, at this point, this rocket is very wobbly because there is a lot of flex there. There is, multiple tanks, and that end, the back end there is rather heavy. I could have ditched this for what I think it was only a couple hundred delta V left in the rocket. I could have ditched it. Then I could have I could have ditched it, probably deorbited it, but I'm not really concerned with the debris at this point. There's not enough in the way, and you can kind of claim the debris in the tracking center. So, all right, well, here we go. We're burning now. I'll burn a little bit, and then I'll ditch this stage, and then go to my I guess my transfer stage would be more accurate. It's a large tank with the Poodle engine. And then inside that kind of expanded adapter is actually a decoupler from KW rocketry, but inside that there's another orbital engine on a smaller tank. So I have plenty of fuel with what we got now to get there and back. And actually, I think I had some left at the end, which I ended up burning in my approach to Kerbin. All right, so here I'm just making my way to. I'm just burning down now, and then we'll do our sphere of influence change with Kerbal alarm clock again, and then we'll get to the sphere of influence of Minmus. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is actually get right to my ascending node and make a little bit of a maneuver there to get a better angle on Minmus in that orbital maneuver. And I'll get it a little bit closer. Actually, I was kind of out of position, and then I, got to this maneuver node and I got back into where I wanted to be. So I had a transfer window open up. And or an encounter, I should say. So I get the encounter, and I'll just go through, get there, and then we'll do some science on the way, and some other things. So let me speed it up here a little bit, and we'll see what we got. We just made our final correction burn at the ascending or descending node. I believe it was the ascending node. Not overly critical. And here is our trajectory now, and we will be doing science while we're moving towards the moon. And I say moon, I mean the Minmus as the moon, not MUN. And we'll do a bunch of science. As you can see, I'm utilizing my network here. I'm just setting up my my satellites or my antenna to make sure that we're in contact with Kerbal Space Command. And you can see by the orange line that we are in fact at least making a connection where we need to. So again, that's the reason why I set up that or made the new arrangements in the relay network, so that we could use antenna to transmit data from the moon and from Minmus. And that way we could, especially Minmus because it takes a little bit longer to get to, that way we can maximize our science output without having to, the latency of going there and then bringing everything back. And I did do some of that. I did bring back some stuff, but most of it was transmitted. Anything that was like high above Minmus was transmitted. And then when I got closer to Minmus, where it was near Minmus, I did a lot of transmitting data there. And then the last, our final orbit around Minmus, it was out of comms range anyway, or out of comms, it was no line of sight. So we had to bring back that science anyway, and we got more for it at that one time by bringing it home. Even though it doesn't affect the overall science pool, it does make it a little bit quicker when you bring back full data worth full points. And that's pretty much the mission. And again, a lot of this stuff is repetitive, and I've edited it out a bunch. The video itself was probably about 50 minutes long, and I've kind of trimmed it down to about 10 minutes. I don't have a hell of a lot to talk about. And here I'm just setting up my return trip, making my maneuvers, trying to feel out the best return. And, now I'm going to just move in for the glory shots to go. Here is Minmus. We're going into Minmus proper. And we'll be doing a bunch of science here, and then I will eventually disappear, or the sun will disappear from my view. And actually, the sun had already disappeared, and I'm just taking back science that I had on the backside of the planet. I'm on the backside of the moon, I'm sorry, that I couldn't transmit. And, just fast forward into our re-entry into atmosphere. Now, one thing I did want to point out is the bottom module there is actually hollow. It's the service compartments. And what it is, it's an empty module, and that you could put batteries or RCS into, the small ones, and that way it doesn't have to be attached radially to your rocket. It's nice and neat. Plus, it doesn't affect anything, and it's very handy. I did do the download, and I put it in the link to the last video, the relays for reals. But I'll also put it in this one as well, and the name of it is at the very end of the video in the credits. So it's worth getting. It doesn't have any ratings on it yet, and it's very new. I think it just came out on the 10th of December. But well worth the download. So do yourself a favor, grab it, make your life easy when you're designing your rockets. And you can. It's really good for probes and stuff like that, because you want those as sleek as possible, and you can get 6 or 7, whatever the maximum in symmetry mode. I'm sorry, whatever the maximum is in symmetry mode, it'll fit in the small 1.25 meter service compartment. It'll fit those small batteries in there, and you can put 4 batteries, and you can put 4 of those round radial mounted RCS tanks. It's basically up to you, whatever you want to do, but it's well worth it. So with that, I will leave you, and thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and let me know your thoughts. Take care.